the Sports Renegades podcast on SportstownChicago.com.
All right. Yeah. Well, now, I must admit, I can't explain any of these thoughts racing through my brain. It's true. Baby, I'm howling for you.
Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportstownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
And before we get into this news that just pretty much broke moments ago, as former Astros draft pick Brady Aiken will undergo Tommy John surgery. He's the one that decided not to sign.
Yeah, and the funny thing is just going back to that, Sports Illustrated came out with like a huge story predicting that the Astros would win the 2017 World Series, listing all these reasons why, and that they would be beating the Cubs.
Of course.
Which, this is the best part. It originally started out, Mark Appel was going to win the Cy Young Award that year.
Yeah.
And then he got injured and was having a horrible season, ERA over 9. George Springer was going to win the MVP, and which he missed a ton of the season with missed like July, August, and September with injury, and was striking out every at bat. Brady Aiken was supposed to throw a complete game shutout in Game 4 of the World Series, which would be a sweep of the Cubs, and the final out would be recorded on a Chris Bryant flyout to the shortstop Carlos Correa, who was playing in one of Bo Porter's crazy shifts. Now, what's funny about that, Brady Aiken did not sign. Bo Porter was fired in August. And then, of course, right after this, Carlos Correa broke his leg and missed the rest of the season.
Yep,
and really, right when that article
shoots that idea down.
Well, yeah, a lot of that's getting shut down because Appel doesn't even look like he's going to be like that great of a pitcher. Aiken didn't sign. They fired Bo Porter. Correa broke his ankle. We don't know if George Springer's going to ever be able to make contact since he strikes out as much as Javier Baez, which is a problem.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I just thought it was funny. Right after that Sports Illustrated issue came out, all of that happened. Aiken didn't sign. Appel just started pitching horribly. Porter got fired. Springer got injured, wasn't hitting at all. And then Carlos Correa got injured. Like, and these are major injuries, too.
Right, yeah. I mean, you're talking about Tommy John, and, of course, Tommy John is always tough, especially in the last 3 or 4 years where it seems, there's multiple every season.
And then in the offseason, Ryan Vogelsong was going to sign with the with the Astros, and because of their apparently their general manager, Jeff Luhnow, does not know is an awful negotiator, and he pisses off the players and the agents a lot, and that's why they've had a lot of failed signings. And right after that, Vogelsong went and signed with the Giants. I mean, it's just kind of funny how unprofessional this organization has been recently.
Yeah.
And another funny thing, their AAA team announced that they were going to have a promotion in August for. Okay, so remember, the Sports Illustrated article predicted them to win the World Series in 2017. Their AAA team was having a promotion. Houston Astros 2017 World Series replica ring.
I think I saw that on the news or something. I mean, that's really dumb.
And then the very next day, they canceled it because they didn't want to jinx it.
Yeah, well, I think they already did.
If
there is such a thing as jinxing, I mean, they already did it. So
the only team that you would really just do that for and be like, well, it's not like it could hurt because this team's just been in futility for so long as the Cubs. I mean, you can't really say they would have won it or not because of that. I mean, you just kind of do it to do it. So that's just stupid. Why are you having a replica ring from the future when your team's probably not even going to make it to the World Series that year? I mean, in my opinion, the Astros team just has not been very good recently, and I think bad things have been unfolding, and last year was just awful for them. And then when Appel was just pitching like he had never pitched before and getting injured, it really made you happy as a Cubs fan that they did not take Chris Bryant.
I agree with you there, especially now with all this. All right, so let's get into this article that was just posted about 20 minutes ago on the Houston Chronicle. So it's on the Houston Chronicle website. Former Astros pick Brady Aiken will undergo Tommy John surgery. Left-hander Brady Aiken, who went unsigned after being selected first overall by the Astros in the 2014 draft, underwent Tommy John surgery on his pitching elbow on Wednesday, according to the PlayersTribune.com. After concerns arose regarding an abnormally small UCL in Aiken's left elbow, led to the Astros pulling back an offer of $6.5 million to sign, the high school lefty turned down an 11th hour offer of $5 million and opted to enroll at Florida's IGN Academy rather than accept a scholarship to college baseball powerhouse UCLA. The move would have allowed him to enter this year's draft rather than wait until the 2018 draft, so he would have had to wait a while.
Yeah, you can't enter the draft until you're a junior. If you were going to a regular college, community college, you can enter immediately.
I like that you can't enter as a junior. I maybe not so much for MLB. I wish they would do that in basketball.
Basketball is the one that it needs. I mean, baseball, I think after their sophomore year they should be allowed to go, and now it has to be after their junior year.
I definitely agree in basketball, especially college basketball, where in college baseball no one's necessarily watching. So
where college basketball, I mean the teams would need these guys to be staying an extra year, not just being one and done.
Yeah, I'm sick of those programs who are good 1 year and then they don't really show up for another 8 years.
Or DePaul just not showing up ever.
Yeah, going on 11 years since an NCAA berth. So, so I mean, I definitely agree with that. Here's a quote that Aiken talked about his decision and the money involved in that piece that was on the PlayersTribune.com. Since last summer, a lot of people have wondered how I could have turned down a multi-million-dollar signing bonus after being picked first in the draft. Now I know they'll probably be wondering about it again. I can honestly say I don't regret not signing. It was a very difficult decision, but it also was an informed decision based on circumstances only a few people know the truth about. The money wasn't the only factor to consider. I wanted to play somewhere I felt comfortable, with a support system I felt would lay the groundwork for a successful and long career. Making sure I had that I had it in place was worth the frustration of not being able to get on with my career sooner. And then here's just the last paragraph about it. The truth is, over the last 9 months, I didn't dwell too much on what happened over the summer. I was looking forward to the future. I just put my total focus into preparing for the 2015 draft. My workouts were the best they have ever been. I was throwing better and harder than I had ever been before. And in my first game for IGM Academy last week, I threw a pitch and something felt a little wrong. So that's sad news to hear, obviously.
Very, because he's being compared to Clayton Kershaw. And it's not that last year he didn't sign because of the torn UCL. That wasn't the issue. He just tore it now. And I know I heard one of the reasons that he didn't sign is because him and his agent and his family did not like the way the Astros were handling negotiations. They felt that it was unprofessional and uncalled for.
Yeah, I could see that too. Which kind of surprises me with one of these, new age small market teams. You would think that they would be able to treat people really well. Treat their families with more respect than maybe the Dodgers or Yankees would, for instance. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad. I mean, I feel awful for the guy because he has tremendous potential, and the Cubs said last year he was the number one guy on their draft board. He was the only guy that was ahead of Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's if everyone's going after him, and then the Cubs ended up getting Schwarber, which has worked out so far. But, of course, injuries can happen anytime.
Right, that's the thing with pitchers is the injuries, and then they could have control issues. They lose their velocity. It's just there's such a gamble taking where the hitter is a more safe pick, and Schwarber wasn't ranked super high. He was already ranked number 15 or 16, the draft number 15th or the 16th draft prospect, where the Cubs took him 4th overall, and they said he was the best hitter. He was number 2 on our draft board, and they look like geniuses for taking him that early because of how good he's been.
Right. We do have a score update between the Cubs and Angels. The Angels have tied it up at 1. Johnny Giavotella singles on a ground ball to Matt Caesar.
He was on
Matt Joyce scored.
He was on the Royals World Series team last year. They traded him for cash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he has a single. Currently, it's 1-1, top of the third. The Angels have runners at first and second. Pujols is up at back.
Is Jokic still pitching?
Yes, Jokic is still pitching right now, and Albert Pujols is up to bat.
Ooh, that.
So there you go.
Even though he's like 32 or 33, he loves to hit Cubs pitching.
Right. Of course, we talked with Mark Rohde, about a lot of the young players with the Cubs and what he saw in Arizona, and it's pretty interesting. It's always cool to go to spring training games, but it would be really cool to be there right now, seeing Chris Bryant just go yard every game.
You're almost guaranteed to see a Chris Bryant.
Yeah,
home
he
run.
has 9 home runs, 10 overall if you include the split
B
squad
game.
Yeah, so that's really awesome to see, but of course it doesn't change the fact that Chris Bryant shouldn't start with the team until April 17th, I think is the date where he's eligible.
They're not going to bring him up April 17th because that would really make them look bad. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, we're bringing you up on the exact date.
I'm assuming they would wait till
probably
May 1st.
Probably sometime in May.
May 1st seems like a good day unless they're not playing May 1st, but it would be nice to start them in the beginning of a series,
Right, or
May
game 2,
yeah.
Maybe if they can, I can start him in game 2 of a series instead of game 1 if the second game has a lefty pitching.
Here, I'll look up the schedule and we'll decide a good date for them to bring him up, and we'll see if how.
Yeah,
and we'll
I
see
think
how
he should
close
miss
we are to what the OFC
miss the
is
entire
doing.
month of April. I mean, there's nothing to gain by having him on the roster in April when it's cold out. The wind's howling in. The ball doesn't carry because it's so cold because of the weather.
All right.
We'll probably bring him up for a road series. That'll probably be his debut.
It definitely could be a road series. May 1st is a 1:20 home game start against the Brewers. The first 10,000 fans get a Wrigley Field football. So there you go.
Yeah, they're not going to bring him up for that home series. How about...
The following Monday, May 4th, they're at the Cardinals for a 4-game series, so that might be a good idea.
That probably sounds like a good one. That could be a really good one. And no, I mean, although the Cardinals don't have any lefties in their rotation, although that won't matter anything. I mean, I think they had Soler make his debut, or it was Rizzo that Johan Santana pitched the first game of the series, and they called up Rizzo the next day so he didn't have to face Santana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that...
I mean, that Cardinals series would probably be a good one. Who do they play on the weekend? Is that the Brewers?
Yeah, they're at Milwaukee after they're at the Cardinals.
I mean, if they don't want to bring them up for a home game, those are probably those two stadiums in the Reds are could be like home games.
If they do plan on going to bring him up at Milwaukee, we should go to that game for sure.
Yeah. The only problem, we got to pay attention to the news because the moment he gets called up, the ticket price won't rise at that moment. However, as time goes on, those will be an expensive ticket.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to the minutes after the news is announced, we got to go get those tickets.
you go to StubHub right away. Another scoring update. It's getting a little worse for the Cubs. Jokic is not having a good outing thus far.
I guess he's not going to make it as the lefty specialist in the bullpen.
It is 2-1. Albert Pujols hit a ground rule double on a fly ball to right field. Colin Cowgill scored, and Mike Trout to third. And then I
told you he loved hitting Cubs pitching. It doesn't matter how old he is. He'll never get tired of hitting Cubs pitching.
Yeah, now it's 4-1. I saw something flash across the board as I was saying that.
Did it say home run?
Let me take a look.
Is Cole Calhoun in the lineup for the Angels?
That I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. C.J. Cron tripled on a line drive to Soler. Trout scores. Pujols scores. So now it is 4-1. Jokic has given up 4 runs this inning.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this might be his last inning.
I think Cole Calhoun, isn't he not with the Angels anymore? Or is he still with the...
No, he was a guy they called up last year. He's 27 years old.
There's some young guy that was on the Angels that's not on the team anymore. I can't think of who it is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Calhoun is playing. He's
The leadoff hitter?
Yeah, he's the leadoff hitter playing right field. He did not. He hasn't done anything yet. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of who that was.